So those people obviously went down exploring for the Titanic this week and died. And what I was most surprised by, like, the internet's always a dark place. There's always going to be like some people who make some mean jokes about it. But everybody seems to think it's real funny that some billionaires like died this week. And it's like, haha, the billionaires suffered and died.
Why didn't you pull yourself up out of the water with your bootstraps?
Yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't get it. Like, why do people actually hate billionaires? Like maybe there's one billionaire in particular you don't like. Like, oh, I don't like Elon Musk. I don't like what he does, or I don't like Donald Trump, whatever. But anyone with money, we hate.
Mr. Beast could like cure cancer, but if he had a hot dog earlier, someone would point out he has mustard on his shirt. Probably.
Yeah, he gets so much hate. They're like, Mr. Beast is a bastard. Look at him sadistically curing deafness in children for views.
It's like, all ego.
It is for views. You're brilliant. You mean he was making YouTube content to reach the widest audience possible? You really cracked the case here. What a scumbag! Like,
it's all ego. That like it's if you're doing too well or if you're doing really bad, people will either kick you. People will kick you on both ends of the spectrum. You know.
Yeah.
I try to just stay in the middle. So this is why I'll never be a billionaire.
Yeah,
the reason that like people.
That's why I've avoided that trap as well.
Like,
that's like when people are like, I'll go to the gym, but I don't want to get too big. It's like, I'll work hard, but I don't want to be a billionaire.
I don't want to be too good looking or too rich. People will hate on me.
Yeah, I'm gonna wake up one morning and these abs are gonna be offensively large. It's gonna be out of nowhere, and I'm gonna have to eat pizzas to correct it.
I saw the bathroom in the submarine was 2 bottles and some Ziploc bags.
Ooh.
Yeah, by that logic, I have a bathroom right under my utensil drawer in my kitchen. There's bags and all sorts of things.
I have a bathroom right next to me, if that's the case, yeah.
I saw that the American subs only go 1,500 feet down. It was like 1,550. And that surprised me because this thing was like 12,000 feet down. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Damn, it's really deep.
Yeah. Did you see
There's only like all subs only go like that comparatively short distance down. The only other vessel that can go down that deep apparently is owned by Gabe, like Newell, who invented steam. He has it's got a cool name also, and it's like the Deep Sea Explorer, and he has the world record for deepest descents in all 5 oceans.
Yeah, it's called like the Triton or something.
I was lost. Owned by Gabe, and then you said his last name, which I didn't gather, and then you said he invented steam.
Yeah,
I'm like, wasn't that invented like a really long time?
You mean Archimedes?
No, he was the first to harness it.
I'm like, how does a man invent steam?
You know what's fun? Like the Gabe Newell like sub, I saw exactly what you're talking about, Kyle. Yeah. And when you see a picture of Gabe Newell's sub, Triton or whatever it's called, you can tell it's a real submarine. Like it's like, oh, none of that was from Home Depot. That was from like wemakesubs.org. Like all the pieces were special ordered. Like you can see the picture here. Yeah.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Looks real and secure. There's a million cameras and things. When I watched a 20-minute video of course on YouTube, there's everything. There's a guy with like 150,000 subs who's like, I'm the sub man. And he's a sub expert. And I watched a 20-minute video of him from like 3 days ago. And literally he was like, these people are dead. Like there is a lot of discussion about air being left and how that would work, but they are dead. Like the window was rated for 1,500 meters and they are 12,000 feet down. They were crushed instantly. The idea they're rationing air is silly. Like, and at the end of that video, I was kind of like, yeah, but this guy, he is the submarine man. And it does make sense that like, what was it just hanging out down there thousands of feet?
Sounds like he was right about everything.
Yeah, it seems
they found the wreckage, right? Like you're up to speed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are they sure it's the wreckage?
Yeah, they're pieces of it. Like it's like the standing gear and stuff.
Yeah, apparently it imploded and the people died instantly. They're just done. Then they said they died instantly.
They would.
A while ago.
It's sad to see all the backlash because it's like, would for one, it takes a certain amount of bravery to do that. I think. Like,
no, not that.
So I don't know. It's just armchair people. Like Twitter's just cancer.
Yeah, it's so analogous to the action. And I mean, this is not a novel take. I've seen so many people talking about it. Like, it's so similar to the Titanic itself. Like, the guy in charge of it was told, like, this is not safe. Like, this is going to kill you, and they fired that guy and settled outside of court. And like, he knew. Like, apparently, the first test they did, they just lost communication at like 3,000 feet or whatever, 3,000 meters, whatever it was. Like, that's like, and then just getting back in and going and doing again. Like, I couldn't wrap my mind around the video I watched where he's like, and it's a Bluetooth controller, and I'm like, I know nothing about subs, but this is a bad idea, sir. And the CEO, he was like we know it's a Logitech 2-star on Amazon device, and the guy's like, this is something that's made to be beaten around by 16-year-olds, and he like lightly throws it to show how durable it is, and he's like, we got multiple other controllers here just in case. And it's like, oh, okay,
I got mad
that's where you want to have a Bluetooth pairing issue, is at the bottom of the sea. Like,
I had no problem with the controller. I don't get why people have an issue with it. I have seen Xbox controllers in multi-billion-dollar pieces of United States military equipment.
It's wired.
It's what we use.
Everything. They don't do wireless shit like submarines. They don't like things.
Well, look, I don't know about if it's wireless. That seems like an oversight. Insane. I'd want to let's plug that bitch in and make sure.
Yeah,
let's come on. But all the same,
batteries.
Oh my God! If you batteries low, we'll be fine. We're gonna be down there for 2 hours. Don't worry, it's on red, but we're fine. I'll lick them.
Does anybody have a Walkman? Perhaps. But I could borrow your Duracell.
I need 18 AAA batteries.
Yes.
So the official statement, like, did they at a certain point did they know they were dying, or did they just fucking implode randomly?
If it implodes, you're just dead.
Mike, I'm just guessing here, but that's how they make movies. That on its way down, it was just sinking. They all knew they were in trouble, and then implode, dead.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not that.
Like if it implodes and it's carbon fiber, like they said, that makes it just absolutely instant because it shatters, and so it's just powderized.
Well, if the window broke, it just immediately threw them under. If at 12,000 feet, it's probably 6,000 psi. So I mean, that an oxygen cylinder that we play paintball with, like the scary carbon fiber wrap ones, are 3,000 psi. They're like double that at that depth. And so they just, I don't know what happens to a human body, but we have seen that. I think there's a video. There's definitely images of those. There's 2 or 3 of those submersion divers. The ones who do like they live at that deep depth where they're doing the welding and stuff. And someone operated the airlock improperly. Like they would have had to have ignored like 2 or 3 warnings, but they opened the pressure seal and everybody was pressured to, I don't know, a couple thousand psi, and they just explode. They just
apparently what happens like this far down
chunks.
I was reading, and who knows if this is true or not, but because I'd never considered it. Apparently, like, it's so much psi that it like compresses the air so violently that it like is an explosion down there, and so like your body would just be gooified, like just it's just like an explosion. You're just not.
Think of all the little critters on the bottom of the ocean eating them. Probably
it's still better than like 95% of the deaths that people get. Like, I think dying in general sucks.
Yeah,
these guys got an instant one like that.
And it's cool. I mean, they did something like very brave.
It is cool, yeah. I think that people are overlooking that.
People are just shitty. Like,
you're 100% right about that.
I'd rather go to space.
Like, why would people want to go down? It's like, that's not my area of interest. But if you're an explorer, it makes 100% sense.
People climb Mount Everest.
People climb. Why do people climb mountains? Why do you go to the bottom of the ocean? Because they're adventurers.
I saw this fucking. It was really cool. This video of it was Everest, and it's this woman kind of freaking out, and some guys like telling her to like stop freaking out. But then they're climbing Everest, and like someone's sliding down because they've like passed out, and they're sliding down the mountain. Like I saw that video a couple months ago, I think, on Twitter. But people die climbing. Oh yeah. There was one guy up there that I think they just called him like green boots or something because he froze to death, and he's just they can't get him off. He's frozen to the mountain.
I mean, nobody wants him either.
Yeah,
he's apparently green boots is an important landmark.
Yeah.
Like,
so like people want to challenge themselves. People want to explore. I mean, if they die, they die. So.
That seems like
I don't buy that you can't get the bodies or clean if you wanted to. Like, I feel like people are always like, I got other things to do. I'm trying to climb Everest.
Like you don't even have to do it. You just have to show up there with enough money to pay Sherpas to, instead of hauling 200 pounds of gear, take a trash can with you and come back with it full.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, there are people who do that for a living and
or burn that shit.
Don't care very much.
Take 20 gallons of fuel up there, pile that shit up, and melt it. I don't think there's going to be an environmental impact. Let's just melt it down right up there. Go up it's close to you're on Mount Everest. It's going to make stars instantly.
All right, that's a solid point.
Why do we want the bodies removed? Like, it's kind of a good reminder. Of
I was thinking with the garbage.
It's a good, just skulls everywhere as you get up to
makes
Everest.
it not even skulls, just like frozen, dead-eyed, glassy faces. Just like some guy like in mid-scream.
Oh yeah, I guess there wouldn't be skulls.
I just passed the screaming child. We're almost to the top.
I wonder what their bodies look like up there. I bet they're pretty well
They're very preserved. Yeah, I think there wouldn't even be skulls. I don't think.
Well, freezer burned, but
they get that thing where it's like the skin's still there, but it's like like the lips are like black and like burned and like freezer burned.
It probably looked like wax, I'd imagine, but I've never seen a frozen dead body. So
I've only seen frozen dead bodies. I went on a big like
looking at one right now.
YouTube rabbit hole where I just was like reading lists and like reading everyone who's died on Everest and like the pictures of them, and then some of them are like, that's Orange Belt. We don't know who Orange Belt is, and no one's ever turned him over. So we're never going to know who Orange Belt is.
These bodies are not as attractive as I expected.
No, not sexy at all, huh?
Dead.
Well, I mean, I'd do them, but it's hard.
Gross.
It'd be tough.
Freezing.
It'd be one of my tougher ejaculates.
Dude, that sub. I've been thinking so much about that sub thing of like, I know me that I wouldn't have got on that craft to go 50 feet down. Like I'm not saying that I'm terrified of like the idea of it. If it was Gabe Newell's one and I saw that, I'd be like, I'm comfortable with this. Oh, there's YouTube videos I can find of this thing doing what we're about to do successfully. Like, okay, let's do that. This
That's
other
all it
thing,
takes.
Yeah, like I'd go down a little bit, and I don't want to go all the way down.
What if this guy had a YouTube video? Like he probably did, right? But this wasn't the maiden voyage, was it?
They had never had a successful voyage this far.
I thought they'd been going up and down for years.
Not that far.
Some guy on Reddit said he had done it a few times, and they lost communication every time he did it. But I mean, it's the guy on Reddit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's also the guy on Reddit. They don't know. It's the guy who found the Boston bomber.
Well, I would much rather go to like space than although $250,000 to go down the Titanic is a lot different than what was it to fly up on the Soyuz back in the day. The Russians were charging 20 million, I think. 20 million, something like that. Yeah, to go up in to the International Space Station.
In space, like at least going down in the ocean, you're gonna see like all the cool, or hopefully you'll see cool deep fish and stuff you don't see otherwise.
I'm on the other team, Taylor. I think in the ocean your visibility is like 6 feet, even with good light.
I was gonna say, I think space has aliens too, man. Like
and in space, your visibility is like a million miles.
But what else can you look at up there?
Aliens.
The Earth.
Look at the other
stars, planets,
the moon,
the Earth, and then you go, man, that's nice. What else you got up here? And you're like, shit. 3 minutes in, and he's asking what else we have. You know?
I saw this from my parents.
You already clogged the shitter.
Yeah. Honestly, the photoshopped pictures NASA posts on Twitter are way better. This looks like shit. Like getting mad that it's not as good as the Photoshop NASA pictures.
You brought your binoculars, Woody. Now you can see 35 times larger than before. So now it's only 1 trillion miles away. Okay, great.
Yeah, you stare into the blackness of space. Wow, neat.
I wouldn't say I've almost died exploring, but I did go on a really remote like wilderness hike to this big waterfall, and brought my camera with me, like a professional deal, and nearly dropped it. And in my haste to grab the camera, because it's fucking expensive, I slipped. The camera's fine, but I slipped and fell on a rock, like just feet went out from under me, back hit the rock, and I was like this close from hitting my head. Pretty close. Slipped, fell into the waterfall, like ravine or whatever, and started like floating down the river. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not good. But I could have, I'm out there alone, nothing out there, nobody for miles. So
you would have been on really first bad. 48.
Yeah, and after that, I'm like, well,
I shouldn't be alive.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be alive.
I was that close that if I knocked myself out, could have drowned. That
would have been such a terrible way to die.
Yeah.
What?
Like, I just mean, I don't mean like the experience of dying that way. I mean like falling down and dying in such a meaningless way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a lot of us get to have some go out with a bang Marvel movie ending. I think. I mean, you could arrange that. You could head over to Ukraine. Like you make that happen now.
I'm gonna build a wildly unsafe submarine when I'm like 80. That's how I'm gonna go.
It's just what are you going to be exploring though? Like what's the gimmick? What are you going down there to look for?
I'm going to explore the wreckage of the Titan.
It's just a chain of people dying over and over. I'm going to explore the wreckage that explored the Titan.
It's like
but you're not a billionaire, so one rowboat.
We can't find the sub. We sit in to find the sub. We sit in to find the sub.
I've got a hefty bag over the windows, like it's like someone's car without insurance.
Taylor just goes, "No, it's okay. I'm the sub guy. I'm the sub guy. I'm the sub
I watched a YouTube video, and this is the strongest PVC they sell in the for sale aisle at Lowe's.
How strong does PVC hold up against?
I mean, a couple hundred pounds.
Not enough for a sub.
I did some plumbing.
I mean, water's regularly like 150 psi in places. Like, so way beyond that. All right, I'm gonna guess 800 psi for like 1 inch PVC.
600 is my guess. Ooh, 300 to 600.
Yeah, there you go.
Facts.
Facts. Now I know.
What about CPVC?
What about it? No, don't look it up.
It's the same thing, but for heat. I don't know if it's stronger or not. That's what CPVC is, right?
Well, we'll get to the bottom of it.
All right.
I want to talk about the Titanic people. So,
yes.
So I guess James Cameron back in the day pioneered that whole going down to the Titanic thing. He was like he was one of the very first to go down there, and then they made the movie and everything. And since then, nobody's really gone down very much until the last 2 or 3 years, and then they commercialized it. And now people are going down like mad, like all the time. They're sending people down to this thing. It's expensive. It's $250,000 a seat, and they got like 4 or 5 seats to sell, and then maybe a pilot, I'm presuming. And they went down the other day. It's 13,000 feet of water plus, by the way, in the North Atlantic, and they lost them. And the news is like, we hope they find them. The search continues, and I'm like, wait, so they're 13,000. Let me see the ship. Hey, they're dead. They're all dead. What are y'all doing? We're wasting our time. They're 96 so dead.
Hours of air, right?
Oh, what I mean is they're going to die. Like if I send you into deep space with 96 hours of air, same situation. They're dead. They're dead.
And it's like they're searching for them. Like, what are they searching for them with? Sonar?
Yeah.
They've
got the Navy's there, right? Like, but it won't matter. They won't. So
the sub basically was. I saw the tourists paid like $200,000 or something absurd to go down in this honestly shitty looking little thing that didn't have enough windows for what if you're paying to you need.
Are
windows.
you used to better submarines, Taylor?
You would, if let's say this. Let's say you and I both pay $250,000 and we're down by the Titanic, and I go, "Hey Woody, do you mind moving so I can get a chance to look out the porthole?" That's infuriating. There should be. If I get bored of the Titanic, there should be current movies in theaters currently that I can pull down a little thing with and start watching.
Who wants to see the movie Titanic? It's playing in the back.
There should be food. You think you start watching the movie in the back? But basically, so this thing failed. Somewhere close to the Titanic. Did they even?
It goes to 13,000 feet below the surface, and Taylor's like, "Need more windows."
Look, what are you going to see? You're going to all huddle around the front and look?
So maybe a screen
with this
door?
Picture, like those four tanks around the side aren't part of it, and then obviously the big flat aluminum. There we go. Yeah, there's not a lot to this motherfucker. They are dead.
So that thing stopped working. It's sitting on the ocean floor.
They don't know what happened. Feet. No, they lost contact. They don't know where it is, Taylor. There are two huge ocean currents, one coming from the south and one coming down from the north that pass right through here. They don't know where these guys are. They're halfway to England
or something.
GPS, they're under 2 miles of water.
I guess 2 miles, that's a good amount of water.
Yeah. Do you still have service 2 miles?
They're in a blackness you can't even fathom.
Titanic wreck site?
Man, you're right. They're in trouble. Yeah, man. What do you think the moment was like when they're like, "This is our tomb," or like, because there's no way there's. I saw some shit that was like, they've got air for another 14 hours, and it's like, no, they don't. Like, there is no way.
I bet they're in there right now panicking. My money would be they're in there right now going, well, we're dead. Anybody want to fuck?
Oh my God. I was just waiting for, I was like, we got 10 hours to live. And I mean, I could still get it up.
Wait, did it just stopped working, or there was damage?
It's hard. They should make a movie about it because they do this all the time.
Oh.
Like what was the one with Marky Mark or whatever his name was?
The Perfect Storm, where they imagined the whole sword fishing trip. But in this, like, a portal opens up and they went down into the center of the earth, did all sorts of exploring down there, and the other realm, the Upside Down.
Did you see the controller the guy was using to direct that submarine? Literally Mad Catz.
Yeah.
A Mad Catz controller.
Why wouldn't it be, though?
I mean,
because the stock controllers are better.
$250K, yeah, at least.
He had longer thumbsticks on it. He had like control freaks made, but
control freaks on it.
He really did. He had these long, like, custom-made control freaks on it.
Maybe that was his first mission with the control freaks. Threw him off a little bit. The angles.
I mean,
I think it's the submarines. They, you know, in Walmart when you go to play the games, how they have that thing the Xbox controller's stuck to, like that flexible thing. I've seen that same setup in submarines with an Xbox controller. You know, like they don't reinvent the wheel when it comes to those controllers. They use video game controllers in the military a lot.
Do you think, like, for the submarine, like A, B, do you think they do stuff like boost?
Yeah, that's your B is your turbo mode for the nuclear submarine.
Yeah.
How do they drop a turtle shell out the back? That's the whopper.
Yeah, they keep doing the oil slick.
R3. You gotta click the thumbstick in. Everybody misses that one.
Yeah. What they need to do to get out of this is up, down, left, right, A, B, down, up, left, right. That's
all weapons. That's gonna get them nowhere.
No, that will. That's either with subs or a finishing move in Mortal Kombat. It's one of those.
Yeah, they're so dead. A shame.
Stepson of missing billionaire attends Blink-182 concert amid rescue efforts. Good gosh.
He looks so fucking on the spectrum,
the billionaire.
Dude. It was this chunky dude, and the text reads something like, probably not cool to be here right now, but this is how. Oh, you got it. Oh, yeah, that's him. That's the picture of him at the. Look at the smile. It's like, about to inherit some money.
Wait, who? That's one of the trapped guys?
No, that's his stepson, who's at a Blink-182 concert right now, posting on, like, Facebook and Twitter, like, probably shouldn't be here right now, but gotta support the Blink. It was something like that. Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'm glad I wasn't on that fucking tomb sent miles beneath the water to die and suffocation, hopefully.
Yeah.
Not a giant squid ripping it apart until the water just gushes in.
That'd be faster.
It would. It's scarier.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's already such a scary place to be. The bottom of the sea. Just hoping, like, I would be down there like, there has to be some technology. Perhaps a larger submarine. There is. Like
the Navy has all that stuff. They're looking for them. The Navy has stuff they can go down there and grab them, bring them up, dock with them. Maybe not with them because of what that is, but it can dock with, like, real submarines.
You know what they should do?
They go down sometimes.
Take another version of that same submarine, put it in the same area, direct it the same way, and then see where that one goes.
Drop it in and just see what happens.
Yeah. That is. Now we know which way to go.
Do we know where it was when we lost it?
No.
That's the
that's the challenge.
Losing.
Well, I lost him again.
It. It's like Kyle lost his keys. Okay, Kyle, where did you leave them?
Yeah, it's so not helpful. Just asking people where's the last thing you remember putting it. Well, I haven't checked there yet. Like
I know, right?
I was looking in my neighbor's closet, like being quiet, poking around their trash in front of their house.
Usually when I've completely lost something, it's fallen out of my pocket in a chair or a car. That's almost this chair. Even like my phone can fall out and fall like a perfect fucking sliver down into the crevice of this thing, and it's invisible. It's just perfectly hidden, and that's usually where it is. Over the submarine talk that we were having the other night.
Okay.
I kept saying, yeah, they could find human remains. They found the wreckage, so why wouldn't they find some human remains? And I think Chiz was like, oh no, the bones will like liquefy. And I was like, no, like maybe eventually, like 7 or 8 miles, they'll liquefy or like crush or do something. But no, there'd be bones and like goo and stuff. And not everything's just going to evaporate into nothing. There's skull and bones and teeth and shit. And yeah, they found them today. They found the fucking wreckage. They pulled it up and there's chunks of people in it.
Really?
I want to see the chunks of people. I wonder what they look like. Because I actually had
show you the chunks of billionaires.
It doesn't diminish my desire to see them.
If they were broke, they'd show it to you. But these are billionaires now.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was always shocked we got to see Osama.
Tent imploded. We totally see it.
Yeah,
what happened in here?
Gross. Shit everywhere.
I don't know what I would have predicted for the remains, because I heard that like it imploded in like a nanosecond, and this guy who was probably full of shit was like, your brain takes 0.2 seconds to register anything, and these guys died in 0.1. So the good news is they died before.
I'm willing to bet you're on edge when your sub's about to blow up. And
I'm willing to bet everything he said is horse shit. That there is no standard as to how long things take to recognize, and I doubt they died so quick that they didn't know it was coming. But anyway, I do buy the idea that this implosion happened very quickly. And I don't know what to predict would be inside. Maybe the people turn into some sort of fluid that washes away.
I mean, it was so many atmospheres of pressure that I would imagine that they would not be conscious for any part of that sub being filled with water. Like, not even close.
Yeah, I think if it's just a big pop, then I think as soon as it hits them, there's no agony. I would say that.
Yeah, it's a great way to go, dude. We all have to go some way. Like, shit.
I'm not afraid of pain. I'm afraid of agony, right? Like I don't want to lay there rolling around. My guts are hanging out. I watched that Ukrainian shit, and I'm like, this is not for me. This is rough. You see guys in agony over there on both sides, and it's not fun.
I see a drone drop a grenade on someone, and this is clearly a fatal hit, and then the next grenade just seems gratuitous. It just seems like
we brought 2.
like, dude, did you have
just a waste of money
twice? He was probably going to die. He definitely wasn't going to fight again. Why'd you nade him again?
When you watch people play games, like over a period of time, you start to recognize the meta, and then you watch it shift. In Tarkov, you'll see people using AKs, and then suddenly, M4s are back in vogue. You can watch that happening in Ukraine. There was a time when they were using like the VOG 17 grenades, and then you could tell that wasn't lethal enough. So they just put 2 of them on there. And then clearly they got this huge supply of like F1s as well. So now I see them dropping 2 of those at a time. And then recently I see like a whole new charge that might be just a Ukrainian made drone bomb that they're making now. All sorts of stuff.
Have you seen that the shit about the Fanta bombs?
No,
I haven't heard about that. Tell me.
I don't know what that is.
So I hope I'm not talking out of my ass here. Some of my buddies down here in Texas, the Texas Machine Gun Explosive Ordnance Co. They replicate a bunch of stuff. Like they replicated the Breaking Bad tortoise bomb with the head on it, Hello cool. DEA, all that shit. This one that they did, it's basically like Anfos explosive or whatever, and with ball bearings around it in a Fanta soda bottle that is apparently like a Ukrainian improvised grenade. So they tested the effectiveness of that. And some of the shit that they're doing out there is just it's the necessity is the mother of all invention.
Yeah, I guess they've just got it. Maybe what do they have in the center? What's initiating the Fanta bomb? The Fanta bomb, yeah.
Something like I'm sure they're using all sorts of different stuff. Any kind of blasting or either det cord or I'm sure a grenade, like the cap of a grenade would do it just fine. There's still a charge in there. What is it?
Need something reliable. I was always scared of fuses.
I would rather do, Brandon, and do you agree? I would I'm much more scared of jumping out of a plane than I am like scuba diving and going into the deep.
Yeah, I'll go on the deep more. I mean, I don't want to go on the deep, but I would go on the deep before I jumped out of a plane.
Over a plane 100%.
I think it's unfair to just be vague about the deep. You got to describe as particularly scary kind of diving.
Deep enough that you don't like that you're wearing the real
shark
stuff.
diving is the equivalent. Shark diving without
what kind of sharks? Like nurse sharks?
Sharks that'll bite your hand off.
Whale
if
sharks.
You don't get out of the way quickly enough. No,
I would do it if I was in a. I need to be in a. We need to be in like a big group, not just the three of us.
No.
Actually, you know what? I bet I can out. I think I could outswim you, Kyle.
Oh, you could definitely outswim me.
I was like, where is this going? I thought you were going to claim you could outswim a shark.
No, I can't outswim Woody or a shark, but I can outswim Kyle. I'm kicking Kyle in the nose, trying to get it to bleed.
my respirator's like.
Yeah. So all this stuff is scary. I don't know if scuba diving's scary, but the I didn't want to act like I wasn't scared skydiving. Like I totally was.
What about the submarine
that you were scared
killed
of?
Everyone?
Oh, the submarine.
I like
it. I would not go on a bootleg bullshit tech bro Xbox controller submarine.
I would have gone,
but I'd go on a real submarine. That guy, doesn't that guy who invented Minecraft?
Before the accident, I would have said yes.
Wait, which accident? I can't catch up again.
The submarine accident.
Oh, that. Yeah.
But like, no, if you would have seen that thing and been like bullshit. But if it was that guy. I think it's the Minecraft guy, the guy who invented Minecraft, has that really crazy one, right? That's like you see a picture of his submarine.
I think you're thinking of James Cameron, maybe.
Okay, James Cameron.
They both have aquatic craft. When you're nerdy and rich enough, you get yourself.
Notch has one too.
I think it's Gabe Newell that has it actually.
Gabe Newell. He's the guy who has the record in like every sea for the deepest seaman.
Yeah, and so the dude's fucking Jacques Cousteau, like. 7 seas of the Earth.
I would get on his without a second thought because it looks like a real submarine.
I would be too stupid to know the difference. Imagine again, the accident hasn't happened yet, and they're like, "Hey, Kyle, we're going in one of those deep sea submersibles." I wouldn't question whether yours is the good one. You wouldn't
question it when they hand you the Mad Catz controller.
They're not going to hand it to me. They're not going to hand it to me. And honestly, they use Xbox controllers in nuclear submarines. You know, like
they do not use wireless Mad Catz controllers on reputable.
He had a wired controller. Do not act like he had a wireless.
It was wireless. That was a big.
I know he did. It was so shocking when I saw the wireless.
Dude, those fall apart in your living room sometimes with no pressure.
He had batteries at least, like an extra couple of AA's, or did he just pop them out of his remote in the morning on the way to work?
Yeah, he's got like two. Like, you just kind of like bounced him on his.
You ever do that?
That's got power.
All right, let's game some more. Pop him out of the back of the fucking remote.
Took him out of a vibrator.
Yeah, I wouldn't get on one of those things. Gabe Newell's looks like a big fucking just white rectangle. This is what I'm looking at.
Put up Gabe Newell's sub. Because you showed a picture of Gabe Newell, Zach, but then you showed a picture of the bullshit, PVC pipe sub that those people died in.
I'm not getting in this fucking thing, dude.
No. I would absolutely get in theirs. That to me is cooler than going to space. Like if you go down to the Marianas Trench and see some cool life that's literally never been seen before. And I'm not. They go to the Amazon. They're like, look at this little stick bug. It's 1 centimeter long. You're the first human to ever see one. I hope I'm the last. I hope I'm the last. This thing sucks. But if you take me down there, it's cool that it has a face there for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take me down there and we see like a little, some skeleton clownfish or some shit, or like
you're getting in that fucking lunchbox, Kyle.
100%. That doesn't scare me at all. Like, look, that thing looks so.
We need a person for
scale. In this picture is a craft where they got so good at making it safe and appropriate. They had time for style. Like this, you know what I mean? Like
that craft looks surprised.
Yeah,
it's this is the point of view of when it goes in subreddit.
We're not going to make it. That's what it looks like. A face of shock and fear.
It's more of a Painel fan myself, but I see your.
Yeah, I agree with you that I would rather go down into the sea and see something cool than go to space. You're not going to see anything in space. No critters.
I take it back. I'm wrong.
It's just like the blackness of space and then the planet.
I agree with the no critters, but you can see stars in a way that you can't on Earth.
I want to see the Earth. I want to look back at that's. I think that I would rather. All right, we're in space. You have two windows. You can only look out of one of them for 30 minutes. Then we're going home. One of them faces out toward the blackness of space with all the pretty stars, and the other is Earth. Like I'm staring at Earth the whole time because that's the cool thing to me.
No, how about this? If you go, that compared to
you're
being
right.
in a sub, and they guarantee you're going to get to see a bunch of deep sea life. It's not like, I hope we find something. They're like, there's a pocket of the farthest deep sea down fish.
I bet that the amount of money that you have to pay Gabe or whoever has one of those to actually go down there is reasonable. Like hundreds of thousands. But back in the day, you had to pay the Russians like $10 million to go up on that Soyuz capsule bullshit. So I just think it's a real treat to go to space. That's what I would want to do. Plus, I'm a Star Trek nerd, so I would have a fucking uniform under my shirt. You know,
I don't think space is going to be that exciting. After the first couple minutes, you're going to be
the
like,
weightlessness.
all right,
I think would be very interesting. I wouldn't want to spend a long time there because when I hear about like just going to the bathroom seems so awful, and you're just in a room full of everybody. The farts, the stink of it all. No one's getting a bath up there, not a real one. And I hate that there's so many lady astronauts. The smell must be just gruesome. You know who I would take up there?
You think women smell worse?
Yeah, women smell way worse. They got all sorts of hygiene issues. Like dudes have dude smell. Yeah, women can rot from the inside out. If you leave them to their own devices. I was going to ask you, Taylor, if you have any interest in doing any things above the earth with Woody, but I'm going to be honest. I am afraid of jumping out of that airplane. I have not done that, and it does frighten me. I would be willing to do it if it were required for something. But I'm not looking to just go do it. You know what I mean?
I don't want to jump out of a plane. That would scare me a lot. If there's something tying me to something else, I'll go real high. That will give me like a sense of security. But and
I fully understand.
Like my hands are getting like a little clammy thinking about like being up there and hearing the loud whipping of the air, and then some guy who I imagine like bullying me, like, it's time to jump, pussy.
And you gotta go.
Yeah,
the light is red. The light is red.
Yeah,
wake up.
And there'd be like some like 11-year-old girl that did it in front of me, and that like, and it's, like laughing and having a good time. And I'm like openly weeping. Like
have you been skydiving, Brandon?
I wouldn't do it, dude. I'd rather do fucking crack. I'd rather try crack. There's just no way.
I really thought I was
honestly in a heads up thing. I think I would try my hand at one dose of crack. Yeah, and then try and cut it.
What is the big problem with skydiving?
Because it's scary. I don't like heights.
Heights. I'm about to do an MMA fight. I would never jump out of a plane. Like, there's just no way.
When you do it,
influencer boxing.
I know I've told you two before. It might be news to Brandon. You have two options. You can either take an all-day course, and then when you jump out, you're going to have two instructors holding like your leg and your shoulder, elbow, or something, and they'll make sure that you're straight. They'll tell you when to pull it, but you're kind of solo aside from having all these people holding you.
Yeah.
The other way to do it is Baby Bjorn style. That's what I did. And there's no all-day training on that. They just take care of you like your baby. Like I'm standing there and they have me stand in front of like this outfit I need to put on. And they're just like, all right, put your foot here, put your foot here. And unbeknownst to me, now I'm getting dressed. I walked into the place where you do the jumping, and like 7.5 minutes later, the plane is taking off. It's all going so quickly. They're teaching me how to like slide out of the plane. They're teaching me how to get out of the plane on the flight up. There was no ground training. There's zero ground training. They taught me how to land at about 100 feet. Like, it is right.
I would be like, I can tell you what I would be thinking. Like, on that plane ride up, I would be thinking of any lie I could grasp to about why I couldn't do it. I have a heart condition. Which one? That's private. That's personal. I can't tell you about it.
Well, you're strapped to someone, or someone strapped to you in that case?
Either way. Yeah. So I'm the girl in this doggy style jump we're doing, and I'm strapped to them. Yeah.
I'd do it if I could be face to face with
with a hot babe. Get some breastfeeding in there, dude. If it's a breastfeeding special, I would do it.
I want to look at his strong eyes and know.
So like you and your 4 buddies roll up, and they have a bunch of tandem jumpers who you're going to strap to, and they assign everyone by size.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't get to pick your guy.
I've agreed to do it by like technically, like we do deals where it's like, and one of the ideas would be
there you go, plane,
dude. And It's just that I am very afraid of it, just to be clear. I don't want to be wings like talking about a survival trip like
okay. Yeah, right.
Very afraid of it, just to be clear. But if there was money to be made at jumping out of it, I can go to another. I can like flip a switch where I'm like, all right, this is now it's about work ethic and not about that other thing, and then I can get it done. If it's about work ethic, or if it's about if I've agreed to do a thing, then I can just sort of flip that switch that says there is no option B, and I can just do something awful. But I would be very upset. I would be the quiet one. You would be like, "Are you sure you're okay?" Like, I just need to sit here and be quiet, pretend like what's about to happen isn't about to happen. I would love that it happens like lickety split, like you're on the ground and 8 minutes later you're, all right, red light, let's go. Like I would like that about it. But,
we should totally do it. It'd be fun.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't want to do it. My hands are sweaty.
I don't. Kyle, we can veto this. I don't want to do this. I
wouldn't do it. How much money to do it, Kyle? What's enticing?
Like 10. It would
10K.
take 10. I'll
give you $10.
It would take 10.
I'll give you 20
because
you'll have to come up with the other 140.
You do it for $10,000, right, Taylor?
10 grand, jump out of a plane. As long if and I'm strapped in like a baby to a capable, strong man. Yeah, 10 grand, I would do it.
Yeah, see, that's like a number where you can like 5,000 is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I suppose,
I'd be so scared.
Like, you can't make a thing happen with 5,000.
For 10 grand, I would do it with no training. I could figure it out.
Christ. I would do PEDs. I would do Xanax, and then I would do it.
I do it with no training for 10 grand too.
You just dose yourself up on benzos and just.
I genuinely no, unless I have to fold the parachute. That I want to watch the. You know how you always talk about when you're getting an IV put in, you're like, hey, bring me the old nurse who's got hands that are as like fucking steel. Bring me that gal who could put it in one shot.
No surprises.
I want a Japanese origami master to fucking pack my parachute and fold it just right.
Oh, I want a guy who's done it so many times. He's like on his phone sports betting on the way up there.
No, you focus.
Paying attention.
You're not going to like this, but the person who packs the parachutes is the lowest man on the totem pole.
No,
they are called dirty packers. They have hygiene issues. Their lives are not together.
That's what dirty packers means.
yeah. They're dirty packers, and they just do it all the time. And they probably haven't washed.
I would rather do, Brandon, and do you agree? Like I'm much more scared of jumping out of a plane than I am like scuba diving and going into the deep.
Yeah, I'll go on the deep more. I mean, I don't want to go on the deep, but I would go on the deep before I jumped out of a plane.
Over a plane, 100%.
I think it's unfair to just be like vague about the deep. You got to describe as particularly scary kind of diving.
Deep enough that you don't like that you're wearing the real
shark
stuff.
Diving is the equivalent. Shark diving without
what kind of sharks? Like nurse sharks?
Sharks that'll bite your hand off.
Whale
if you
sharks.
don't get out of the way quickly enough. No,
I would do it if I was in a. I need to be in a. We need to be in like a big group, not just the three of us.
No.
Actually, you know what? I bet I can I think I could outswim you, Kyle.
Oh, you could definitely outswim me.
I was like, where is this going? I thought you were going to claim you could outswim a shark.
No, I can't outswim Woody or a shark, but I can outswim Kyle. I'm kicking Kyle in the nose, trying to get it to bleed.
My respirator's like...
Yeah. So all this stuff is scary. I don't know if scuba diving's scary, but I watch videos somewhat like the ones you talked about, but they're aviation based. And it's always a cascade of mistakes. It's never like one thing went wrong and boom, now the guy's falling out of the sky. Yeah. It's like this thing happened, and then he reacted improperly to that, and then he reacted improperly to that. And by his fourth mistake, he had no more chances to correct it.
Yeah.
It same sort of thing.
It's always that. There's one where they're on like a pleasure cruise and a fairly large sail / it's got a motor, but it's a big sailboat. And it goes down in the night because they don't have charts for the place that they're in. They don't have the proper charts. They have charts for where they're going, but they don't have charts for the emergency stop that they need to make because they let the noob go up top and she got flung in the waves and her back hit the railing and she's fucked up. So as the boat's going down, the girl with the back injury holds onto the rigging and the mast or whatever as it's going down, gets tangled in it and gets gruesome cuts on her legs from the cabling. Then the good emergency bag gets lost to the sea. The thing that had like the radio, the transponder, the food, the water, the desalination, the sunscreen.
This sounds really helpful.
It's literally like God mode. Like, oh, we're good. They'll be right here. Hey, bring us some champagne because we're pretty happy. Like,
you know, that, but we've got so much peanut butter in this thing. You guys got jelly and bread?
Yeah, it was that, but they lose that, and now they're in a shitty dinghy. And they're being buffeted by waves. They're still in a storm, so they go under. They flip it upside down and they go under. And the girl with the cuts, she's afraid. She's claustrophobic. She's not an ocean girl. They're interviewing the survivors, and there's like a bad bitch in the group. Like she's got her hair up in a very like, I don't know, athletic kind of way, and you can tell she's pretty, but like, I don't know, she's had a lot of sun in her life. You can tell, and she's just like, she was not a seaworthy woman or something like that.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Like,
she looked down on the other woman.
She's like, I don't even know what she was doing up there to get flung into the railing. She should have been below deck as she was told. Like every step of the way, she's like talking about how one of the men got themselves killed. And she's like, we did the best we could. We told him not to drink the water. He drank the water. Then he saw a boat and then he started swimming. He swam until we didn't see him anymore. Then we heard him scream as the sharks ate him. Because the sharks are everywhere beneath the boat because of this woman's bleeding leg. At one point, the guy complained he's like, stop kicking my legs. And she's like, all right, I'm just going to look down and find his fucking legs so I don't bump them anymore. So she sticks her head underneath and she's like, it's a swarm of sharks.
Sharks just bumping their legs.
She's like, there are no less than 30 sharks beneath us.
And they still had their legs in the water?
Only 2 of them ended up living. The rest of them succumbed to their injuries,
I guess,
or swam away. The woman and one guy ended up living.
Jesus Christ! That sounded like a really good one.
Being
out at sea would be the scariest place to be stranded. There's something very horrifying about the ocean to me. Like even Woody being like, "Oh, I just sometimes would swim until as far as I could." I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Like,
because I'm conquest focused.
I think you and I are in particular. So because we've been in the ocean water so much less than Woody. Maybe 1% of what he has would be generous.
Not even 1%. I'm
there's no way it's 1%. There's no way. There's no way it's 1% as much like time in the ocean.
It's a quarter of a percent.
So to me, it's a very scary place, full of scary lassophobia, like shit. You know, when I see that endless blue deep below you, and when I see like apex fucking predators that are in their element, and my dumbass cannot swim. Like I mean, I can stay afloat, but I ain't going nowhere. Okay. I'm not
you're not like winning any contests, and you're certainly not winning a contest against an animal that lives there.
Do you know why you can't drink salt water? Do you guys know why?
I think it takes more to process the salt out of your kidneys than you get from the water, right?
You're exactly right. I didn't know that until I was like older than you. You learned it faster than me. But yeah, I was like, I know you can't drink salt water, but it's water and it's the only water available. Why isn't it better than nothing? And it's because like when you have too much salt, you need to drink water. The concentration of salt in this water is greater than the amount of water you get from it. So
it's like that old Simpsons where like they get stranded and Homer misremembers the line. He's like, yeah, remember the line? Water, water everywhere. Let's all have a drink. And no, Homer, no, stop.
Human kidneys can only
Flanders is like the pro, right? He's like, oh, don't worry, we've got our survival kit there with rations that'll feed us for a week.
Survival diddly diddly.
Homer's eating like a week's worth of everyone's food, and now he's got the fucking Swiss Army knife with every blade popped out on a dinghy, and he drops it and it's bouncing with every pokey thing imaginable, and then the gag is it lands and the magnifying glass melts a hole in the boat.
Man, old Simpsons, so funny, but spooky supernatural stuff or just hallucinations, you know. All
right. If you do, then like I mentioned him a minute ago, but Wendigoon, like God, I hope you get your name right, bro.
Wendigoon, yeah.
I fucking love you, by the way. He's I watched his video about like sea mysteries, and maybe I was just in the right mood and the lighting in the room was right. It was like 2 a.m. when I watched too. It was creeping me out. I was getting like the chills a little bit, like I was getting a little uncomfortable.
You were getting those goosebumps,
pulling the blanket up a little bit.
Yeah, because he's telling a story of like this turn of the century boat going from America to Europe, and the captain brings his wife and his like young child. He crews the ship with 15 good men, like half of which are close friends and confidants, all experienced sailing men carrying 1,000 barrels of ethanol to Europe. And the ship is found about a few hundred miles off the coast of Europe, completely empty, with no signs of struggle. Food is on the tables. ink and parchment is out on the table, so the ship couldn't have rocked very much. There's a little water in the hold, but that's kind of standard for those ships of that age.
Found it?
And one, I'll get to that. And one of the lifeboats, the ropes have been cut and it's missing. So Windigan makes the point that like in that time you wouldn't cut your rope as a sailor at sea on a cross Atlantic voyage. You have so much rope, and then you have no rope. And rope is your rigging is your life out there because your sail is your life.
You need it. Yeah,
they need that rope. You wouldn't cut the rope except in an emergency. We need it now. There's no time to like untie a knot. 10 seconds doesn't exist here. We need, and so the people who find it, another experienced captain who takes the ship in to get the salvage rights. So then there's a court proceeding to determine if everything's legit because you have and so like they investigated this thing thoroughly and came up with every conceivable theory. And in the end, no one has any idea what happened to the captain, his family, his 12 or 15 crew. They can't come up with a scenario that makes sense for them to abandon their ship like that. And the other thing, the valuable cargo.
Was there anything stolen from the ship?
No, that's what I was going to say. The valuable cargo is there. The captain's sword is in his quarters. You'd think that, if things got rough, he'd have the sword, not under his bed.
Pretty logical.
Yeah. So what was the conclusion of it? Like they have no idea.
So he tells like 5 or 6 stories about the sea in this one video, and the end of every story is, who knows? like no one knows. And that all the cargo is intact, 1,000 barrels of ethanol, which I suppose is like reasonably valuable at the time. Certainly not a small amount of money. Yeah, it's
ethanol.
For some reason, those creep me out. It's alcohol.
Yeah. So it's just alcohol.
It's alcohol for industrial use.
Oh, okay.
It's not ghosts, right? It's not bullshit. It's
no.
So why would people leave the ship quickly?
If you think the ship's going to go down, you leave the ship. If the ship is like in a position where you think she's going down, and the life boat is a more reasonable choice than staying on board. Mm-hmm. So you got to think of like all the scenarios in which that thought occurs to you.
Fleeing from pirates, weirdly.
Pirates would rob you, right? They take the ethanol, you think. So like in my mind, I have to get so convoluted. I'm like, all right, maybe pirates come, but it goes bad, and the captain's family is killed, and one pirate turns on the other pirate, and he kills that pirate because he doesn't like that a family's been killed. He's there for the money, not for all this craziness. And then everybody had to go. But no, that doesn't work.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's no blood. There's no like sign of struggle. I want to say that the 300-pound block that they put the compass in, I don't know what those are called. It's some nautical term for the thing the compass goes in on a sailboat. It's a big thing. That was knocked over, which was odd because it's heavy. And
so I'm assuming in all these examples, everybody who jumped ship and like got on the lifeboat, they died before they got to shore. So there was never anyone.
They never found a body.
Oh, the SS Ulysses. I was on that. What happened was XYZ.
No. This is like 15 men who were never seen from again. Another one was more modern. This was that because the first one's 100 years ago. The second one was 3 guys on what looked like a catamaran, like maybe like fishing vessel type thing.
Yeah.
And like all 3 of them somehow they found the boat. With the sail ripped, empty, and the food was laid out on the table again. The engine was in neutral, and there's a fishing pole out on the deck, and the fishing line is the hook is in the rigging under the boat. These are all the clues we have, and so they had to do another one of these like coroner's report things in a situation like this, and the coroner has to write the most plausible thing for what he thinks happened. And his is that guy gets his fishing line stuck, falls in the water. The other guy says, "Oh no, I'll save you." He jumps in the water. Third guy throws the boat in neutral because 2 of his friends are in the water, and the mast swings around and hits him Three Stooges style, knocking him into the water, and the boat cruises off, leaving them all to die.
This doesn't make any sense.
That's what Windigan said. He's like, so it needs to be like some sort of slapstick comedy style.
You need Moe and Curly to make that work.
Clean out the whole ship. They're all gone. Yeah. What about a methane gas bubble? But that would probably sink the ship too.
So if something like that happens, then maybe that could explain people abandoning a ship, though, right? Like But that wasn't the case. You know, the boat didn't have water in it, and in the case of in one of the instances, the records were so meticulous that you could tell the hour that it had happened. It was like, all right, it happened between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. on August the 3rd. Something happened, and because there's an account from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then 9 a.m. to 10 never happens.
That is bizarre.
It is, and these make for very creepy stories.
Yeah, he's got
that could be you.
Stories. He's got.
You could go on a boat with your friends and just disappear. You don't know.
The ocean is so fucking scary, and
it's
that was
scariest. Like demons are arguably the least scary thing out there because I don't know if demons can swim. Sharks can, octopus can. Everything in there that wants to eat you can. Like
the ocean's like a big murder factory. Like if Aquaman could hear, he would just hear constant screaming of everything eating everything else constantly. In the ocean.
Have you never like read those like excerpts or vignettes from soldiers who were part of like a destroyer in the Pacific that got sank in World War II, and they're just like hanging out, bobbing for hours and hours,
Sharks
waiting for rescue. And there's like they have people writing journals, like some of the soldiers, like and every so often someone just gets torn down, and it's like you're just waiting for yourself to be that.
I don't know how many sharks there were. Maybe 500.
Doll's eye, dark eyes like a doll's eyes. Yeah, fucked up shit. That's very interesting though.